Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Investigator Guide. Today, we're going to be talking about Ashcan Pete and his lovable dog Duke. This,
Or Duke
oh,
and his friendly human Ashcan Pete.
yeah, both are applicable here. These decks are meant for new players who are coming in and need a direction of where they're going. We build it with the core set and the cycle from which that investigator is from. So this is Dunwich Legacy. In addition, these decks are built with two core sets in mind. If you don't have two core sets, we highly recommend picking up another one or proxying the cards you don't have. It will make your deck better. In addition, I don't think it matters for this one, but we're playing without the taboo list, as you should when you just start the game. So first things first, let's talk about Duke. Duke is great. He's a good boy. Ashcan Pete's wounds and health and sanity are a bit low. But Duke bumps that up because Duke's always in play. But you want to make sure that Duke does not die.
Duke is like more important than Pete.
Yes, easily. Pete has an ability to discard a card from his hand to ready an asset you control, which is built to ready Duke. If you do not know that, that's what you want to be doing with that. And Duke has two abilities. You can exhaust him to fight with a base skill of 4 and it deals +1 damage. So Ashcan Pete has a weapon built into him, which is great.
His dog bites as hard as a 45.
And he also can investigate, but with a free move beforehand, which also, there's a lot of value in that. It's basically like a shortcut and also with a base skill of 4. So there's a lot of power in our boy Duke. Racked by Nightmares, his personal weakness, exhausts all asset he controls, and they cannot ready. And for 2 actions, he can discard Racked by Nightmares, which you're going to want to make a pretty big priority because you want Duke to be a good boy and standing up and not lying down.
Yeah, like if you don't have Duke, you're nothing. There's if you have a choice between Pete dying and Duke dying, like you might as well just kill Pete because you're not going to be doing much without Duke.
Yeah. Let's dive in and start talking about the deck that... Travis, did you build this one?
Yeah, this one was easy.
It was. It seemed very easy.
Red cards are good.
Yeah, they basically just, especially in this one, they play themselves. Rabbit's Foot, after you fail a skill test, exhaust it to draw a card. So you could ready this with your ability.
If you're digging for something,
yeah,
it's
not bad, right? Like it's not wrong. Like especially like say you draw your second card of like, I don't know, scavenging or something, which is on here, and you don't want another one out there, you can just go again.
Maybe Rabbit's Foot. The biggest thing about Rabbit's Foot is like not so much actually having one play, but it's also an item to get back with your scavenging, which is a big part of the sort of engine for this deck. Mm-hmm. Where you have a scavenging in play and you use Duke to investigate, and then you investigate good, and then you get a card back with scavenging, and then you discard your card to ready Duke, and you get to do something else.
Mm-hmm. So Rabbit's Foot, another good one to bring back is also Leather Coat, because then you basically just have endless damage that you can take, which is not like he has 6, but once again, like he has more than this, but this will help you not kill Duke, which, as Travis said, if you have the choice of killing yourself or killing Duke, it's just better to kill yourself.
In some situations, you might as well.
Yeah.
Not every situation, but
the only real worlds where you want to stay alive without Duke are the ones where you're carrying a bunch of the team's clues, and if you drop them all on your location, everybody dies.
Yes. You
could be functional with like a Dark Horse and a Fire Axe, though.
Yeah. Which we will get to those as well. Another thing with Duke is I think something to also be aware of when you're playing Ashcan Pete is that Duke has, like, when we say like to kill yourself over Duke, we don't necessarily mean just lose the game instead of losing Duke, but rather when you're taking damage, you should not look at Duke as an asset to put damage on because he kind of is you, right?
He's kind of your character.
Yeah. So Leather Coat is great for that part of it. So Scavenging, as Travis said, there's a big engine to that in this deck. It allows you to get cards back from a discard pile, which, like Leather Coat, gets in there really easily. Or Rabbit's Foot can get in there very easily because it commits for a wild symbol, which is very relevant.
Yeah, like Scavenging is probably the most important card in the deck behind Duke. Yeah. He's not really in the deck, so it's the most important card in the deck.
Look what
you should
I found.
hard mulligan for it.
Look what I found is an event that gets you 2 clues if you fail. So once again, red does really well. It also commits for 2 books if you ever need it. If like clues are running out and you're on a part of the scenario where you do not need clues anymore, which does happen. It does. So there's some power for there as well.
Yeah, there's some treachery cards that care about having book symbols too.
Yeah. One thing that we're going to get to, we have a few more options from this. We're going to go through the cards in the deck first, but Ashcan Pete is from the Dunwich Legacy, where he has that stipulation where you can include up to 5 level 0 cards from other colors. Travis chose some excellent cards here, but we're going to go through a few more options once we're through talking about the deck. So why is Drawn to the Flame so good, Travis?
Because 2 clues for free is good.
Yes.
The purple cards made the list here because I like purple cards.
Mm-hmm. They're strong.
And like I firmly believe that like if someone in your team can be playing Ward of Protection, they should be. And like to a lesser extent Drawn to the Flame because it's so free.
Yep.
But if someone else has them, like we'll talk about other cards to put in those slots.
Drawn to the Flame.
Drawn to the Flame is just free clues.
Yeah, and it's also good because Ashcan Pete has 4 brain, so he's very good at dealing with the majority of treachery cards that show up.
And 3 foot's pretty acceptable for that too.
Yeah. Lucky's really good. Lucky's just a great card. Then we get to Ward of Protection, which, as Travis said, you're going to want someone at the table playing Ward of Protection. If you're not playing Ward of Protection, in some way at the table, you're either like not playing a purple character, not playing someone who can tap into purple. But if you are playing someone who's purple or can tap into purple, and you're not playing Ward of Protection, you're doing yourself a disservice to your ability to win the game.
And your team.
Yeah. And it makes them happy when you play it. They really think like, dang, this person's great. And you can't upgrade them with Ashcan Pete, but even base Ward of Protection is really good. Guts, it's in every deck. Travis did not lie.
Yeah, it's like the best colorless card in the game.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, probably. Maybe
not best, but it's like definitely in the running for best level 0 colorless card in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the most generic one.
We have said this before, but we'll say it again because this could be your first time watching one of these videos. But why, for example, Travis, is Guts much better than the other ones? Like, why is Guts so good?
Because there's a limited number of ways to interact with treacheries from the encounter deck, and the treachery likes to serve you up brain and foot tests, but mostly brain ones.
Mm-hmm.
To balance out, so you usually use book for investigating and fist for fighting monsters, which we call offensive stats, because they're stats that you use against the game. Whereas your brain and to a lesser extent your foot's kind of like halfway on both sides because you can evade enemies with it as well. Mm-hmm. But like we use those stats are more to like protect yourself from what the game's trying to do.
Yeah. All right. Duke. Sorry, I call him Duke. Ashcan Pete also has some amount of all of the other of these skills, and I think that's just because they work well for his stats. They work very well for his stats, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you look at his fist and his book, they're 2 here, but with Duke, they become 4, so then you can do 6 to get over the hump, or just go 4 comfortably with him as well, right? So there's a lot of power here in that.
They're very flexible in the Pete deck.
Yeah.
Because he's got well-balanced stats. He doesn't actually have 2 book and 2 punch. He's got 4, just only sometimes. And then, these help your teammates out with their problems, and they also contribute a lot of draw, which helps you get to the important and powerful cards in your deck, most of which are in the Dunwich one, but like Scavenging in particular. And then like Dark Horse is very nice to have in play, as is Pete Sylvester, and to a lesser extent Fire Axe.
Mm. Cool. Yeah, we also come to the aspect of Pete where if maybe not half, like let's say a third of his cards were blank, he'd still be pretty okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if all your cards did was say cost 0 fast ready Duke, that'd be pretty okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you draw that and you'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I guess right. I'm gonna fight or investigate twice this turn.
Give me like 7 copies of that.
Yep. All right, let's hop on over to the Dunwich Legacy cards. So Fire Axe. I'll let one of you guys take this. Whoever wants to jump on first.
This card lets Pete do things when Duke isn't available. It's
when
really
Duke's
just
busy.
sort of a...
Yeah.
It serves two purposes. On one hand, like the more important one is that like it's an item that you can get back with Scavenging. There actually aren't that many of those, just between the cycle and the core set. But also it's like I said, it's a contingency plan in case something horrible goes wrong with Duke and Pete needs to get his hands dirty.
Yeah,
You don't have that. You don't have that sort of thing for like clues so much, because you're never gonna be in a situation really where you're like, oh no, Duke's locked down by a racked with nightmares, and if I don't get these clues, I'm going to die like right now.
Yeah.
Or I can't do anything until I get these clues. That's pretty rare that you're gonna be in that situation. But much more often, you'll draw racked by nightmares, and you have an enemy on you, and you're like, huh. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to spend 2 actions and just get like
bodied
crushed
twice,
by this guy.
Next, we have Pete Sylvester to go with Pete, the true Pete, if you will. This guy's just great. Like, he's very, very strong. I would not be surprised. I was thinking today, the next time they do the Taboo update, we're going to see some changes to this guy for sure. But he has +1 foot, which makes your base foot 4. So then you essentially have 4 in all of your stats when you need them to. He also has excellent horror prevention to stop Ashcan Pete from dying. So you essentially have 1 horror per turn that's free that you can take, which is pretty good. It'll make your survivability very, very easy to manage.
Yeah, between Peter and Leathercoat, you have great survivability.
Yep. Yeah, and then we got Dark Horse, which is a huge part of this Ashcan Pete deck. It can make him very strong.
It can make Duke very strong.
Yes, so this is one thing that you might not know when you're first playing, but Duke sets your base value of your skill to 4, which means that anything that increases it will increase as well. So Dark Horse will make Duke fight and investigate at 5, assuming it's in play and you have no resources. So that's sweet. Now Duke becomes
also,
really good.
5 brain. 5 brain is like really good.
Yep. Yeah, not much will touch you with
like
5
pretty
brain.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have Peter in play, it's like your 5s across the board almost.
Yeah.
2.5 Petes.
Then we got Liquid Courage. Travis, why did you include this one in here?
I don't put many green cards in my decks, and I figured that there should be green cards in other decks. Just kidding. It's a card that like we don't play so much nowadays, but we used to play a lot, and it was nice. There's a lot of characters that like get bogged down by treacheries doing horror damage, and this helps alleviate some of that. And it's also an item.
Yep. So when you're done with it,
it's
or
hard to get rid
you
of,
use it
like,
to use it to discard to. That's something I think we haven't said. It's kind of implied in this, but so for example, Travis might have said it. I might have just missed it. But the reason, like, you could discard Liquid Courage with the ability to ready Duke, move and investigate, succeed, get Liquid Courage back into your hand, and it's like you never discarded a card to move, gain another clue, yada yada yada.
Free things.
Free things, yeah. And this also, Ashcan Pete can drink pretty well with his 4 brain.
Sometimes 5 if he has no money.
Yep.
He drinks extra good with no money.
So it's also very well at keeping him alive. So before we move on to the upgrades, Travis, what are some other level 0 cost cards that people might want to consider with this deck?
Shortcut is good. It's like always good. If someone can play Shortcut, you should probably be playing Shortcut. Elusive is good. That's very good.
Magnifying Glass is also fairly solid for Pete.
Yeah, that's an option. You could play Shriveling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As a purple card. I think that Drawn to the Flame, War Protection are better because like War Protection is just great, and like as for Drawn to the Flame, it's like you always want more clues.
Yeah.
But Shriveling's like Leo DeLuca is a solid option as well. A little pricey, but Guard Dog's also pretty okay, I think, for Ashcan Pete. Because then you have 2 dogs.
Yep.
And Duke has a friend.
Which is good. A happy Duke is a good Duke.
Yeah. Also, like, does Guard Dog is awesome when you use it?
No.
Oh, that's cool.
You could play Beat Cop.
Yep, if you're like really focused on the
damage
side of things.
Yeah, like
in that same vein, you could like play Machete or whatever as well, I guess, if you really wanted, or like bring a gun.
Fire Axe is much better than a gun or Machete though, because of your base 2 fight.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like if you wanted to lean into the fighter archetype more.
Yep.
You could take Vicious Blow. I think that would do quite well if you were trying to fight as Pete.
Yeah. Or you could take Deduction. I'm pretty sure that's in this. card pool. Lots of options.
Yeah, definitely. And if we missed any, feel free to comment down below some further ideas. Let's go on to the upgrades. They're pretty simple for Ashcan Pete, as it is for most red characters. We got Will to Survive, the amazing card that we never play, but maybe
I played it last playthrough.
You did? Yeah, maybe we're going to start playing it now.
Don't think if I used it. Don't remember if I played it or not, but like it was in my deck.
So Will to Survive is going to make an interesting little conundrum as you're playing this card, because 4 resources is a lot when you have Dark Horse. But it's so good that you can just start saving up. Be like, okay, Will to Survive is coming up. I can take a few turns with lower stats to get there. Ashcan Pete is good with Dark Horse, but he doesn't need Dark Horse to be perfect, right? Like Duke still does things. Same with Lucky. With Fire Axe, another reason it's so good is it's a good sink for your resources to get rid of them. So with Lucky, you'll be like, you know what, I'm kind of worried about what could be coming next turn, so just gain a resource at the end of your turn during the upkeep phase, and assume that Lucky is going to come into play for the from your Treachery card, and if it doesn't, just spend it into your Fire Axe. So that's something you should be looking at doing with these cards that cost 1. With Will to Survive, it's a bit different because you need to save up a little bit more, but both of these are just very strong cards.
Yeah. Lucky does also occupy some territory where if you have a resource and you have Dark Horse in play and you're not getting that +1, but you're also not failing tests, you know? Like, that's a pretty okay place to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the Dark Horse in this deck, while it is nice with Duke, is also kind of a... like, it's good in an Ashcan Pete deck, but it doesn't have to be a Dark Horse deck. Part of that is a product of, like, the limited card pool. Like, Dark Horse does synergize with Pete, where it just gives you better stats, and then you don't have money to pay for anything, so your things that would cost money, you just throw away to Ready Duke.
Yeah.
When you do have it. But, like, if you don't have it, that's fine. You can just, like, play your cards.
Yeah, yeah. And most of these things as well that Travis does put in this deck are very cheap. Like Rabbit's Foot's 1, Drawn to the Flame is free, Ward of Protection is 1. Ward of Protection is the same thing. You can just grab 1 resource at the end of turn when you have Dark Horse, assuming you're going to use it. And if you don't, nothing bad happened, so you're still fine, right? Like everything's
still okay. Ahead of the game.
Yeah.
There's lots of flexibility in cards you could play in Pete deck, actually. Like, you could play Emergency Cash if you're really concerned about making that money for Will to Survive. I just realized the pun in the name of Emergency Cash, where it's like emergency money.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah. But you can also throw it away when you don't have Will to Survive.
It's one of those cards Bryn said that's just a card that feeds Duke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could also, like, play something like Dig Deep is another way to sink your money away if you're not a fan of Fire Axe or whatever.
And then also, as well, like, when you get more sets, you have more options to put your money in to get stuff out of it. So there's lots of things. But let's hop on to the Dunwich Legacy.
Like, with other sets, Pete is like one of the best level 0 investigators.
Yeah.
I think as far as money sinks go for Pete, he's probably in one of the best spaces for it, because you can take any of the colors money sink asset. So
you can buy this one.
Yeah, so let's start with Scrapper.
Or you could just buy this one.
Let's start with Scrapper. So this one is like a perfect money sink to help you figure out if you are saving and you need to get your Dark Horse going. It gives you Fist and Foot for 1 resource at lightning bolt speed. Yeah.
For free.
Yep, and it's permanent. You don't need to draw
it's always there. Who knew that free consistency was broken?
Yeah.
Well, I think Scrapper is like the fairest one.
No, man, the blue one's the fairest one.
No, the blue one's trash.
No, it isn't. It gives you the stats for the entire... yeah, but like the other ones are all like way too good. But it gives you the stats for the entire turn.
It's true.
Anyway.
It's all true. Yeah, but Scrapper's just, as we were just talking about, this is something that you can put your money in. Pete Sylvester upgraded. He also increases your brain. So with Dark Horse, you could have 6 brain. Whoa, his head is so big.
He also gets 1 extra sanity, so he can take larger chunks of horror damage all at once.
Yeah, I think the change to him coming is he's going to be like that Jessica Hyde or whatever, where he's going to start with 2 horror on him. But enjoy him while you can. Yeah. Like he's the best boyfriend you'll ever have.
Yeah, this is the first upgrade Justin always buys because he just likes to watch his boyfriend improve himself.
It's true, yeah. I like to fix them. I like to fix
Very
them.
awesome.
Flare, so with red, you kind of have this weird thing where you're going to have a lot of experience that you're going to run out of things to do with, especially so in a mono-cycle build, right? So Flare is a great way for you to put money into it, your experience into it, and then make sure that you can keep buying things in the future. Because you attack with Dark Horse 6 and you deal 3 damage. That's pretty good, right? But it's not a priority. It's to when you get to the later parts of the campaign and you're like, I need to do something with my experience. So it's Flare. It also can find Pete. It also can steal allies from your fellow players if you're into that sort of thing. Yeah.
Worth noting, if the allies in their deck are unique and they already have one, you can't put another one into play.
Good to know.
Man, there's like the red upgrade cards are pretty niche to not good.
Oh yeah. Oh,
you can also like Stroke of Luck is a pretty okay option as well, I guess.
But most of the time when we're in a campaign and we're on like, we get to like scenario 4 or 5 and you guys are upgrading and I'm flipping through my binder being like, what do I buy so I don't have to tell Travis I didn't spend any of my experience so he doesn't yell at me?
Why wouldn't you make your deck better?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bank my experience. But Justin, you already have a...
Yeah. But that's kind of I imagine that's going to be changing in the design philosophy with red going forward now that they actually are starting to get some level 4 cards as well. So
man, like usually I try not to like make these too roadmap or railroady for new players, but like man, don't play lure. Don't pay experience for that.
Yeah, no, I think that's important. It's like you can learn to make those mistakes because it's a solo, like it's a co-op game, right? But we're here to help you rock it. And I think this deck is very good. Like even just at level 0, it's very strong.
Yeah, like Bryn said, the third of these cards could be blank and the deck would still be good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like the crazy part about playing Pete.
God, every time someone calls him Pete, I only think of Pete Sylvester. I'm brainwashed. I've killed myself. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions for cards outside of Cycle that would be good for other players for Ashcan Pete, let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, punch that like button. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.